As we pop up into this field by the garden, we see plenty of deer out there as well. See them all back over there. I don't know how long they'll stay there, but there's several at the back side of that. That is another big food plot where we've planted, and we got neutral plot out there on that for neutral plot fertilizer. If you plant a food plot, or you have a garden, or you have a hay meadow, or anything that you're fertilizing, neutral plot is the thing that you want to fertilize it with. Now those deer are probably not going to hang around out there too long because they are totally wild deer. The windshield of this mule's pretty dirty, I know. Some of y'all are saying, Jimmy, why don't you clean your windshield? And you're right, Jimmy, why don't you clean your windshield? But they've all slipped off over into the woods. You can see it. But Ellie, come here. Yeah, I see a couple of them back through the woods right there. But that food plot there had quite a few deer on it. There's a food plot back in behind those trees. That's broken into a couple plots, but about that same size. That's a pretty nice sized food plot. Beautiful. Put the neutral plot on when your first signs of green start showing. Whoop. About dropped the phone. Just about dropped the phone. But I got it. Let's go look at the garden. Well, you can see, back this thing off, but Nellie is just so excited to just get out and run around. But taking care of Chris, I have very little time to run around, and it's kind of cool this evening. It made it up to 70 degrees today, but it's just down to about 60 or in the 50s right now before dark, and I think it's just a little too cool to take her out. But you can see we got quite a few mounds here, and we don't have completely planted yet, but we've got a lot of these planted, and we'll take a little look here and see what we've got. As we're not going to have much to show in this, but we do have some tomato plants going there, several tomato plants, and got the little fence there for them to grow. And we have not had great success with our tomatoes here the last 2 or 3 years. Those are one of the really about the only thing we haven't had great success. That, and we have tried to plant some carrots. It's easier to buy carrots, I think. We haven't had much less luck with carrots, but those little tomato plants are looking good, and hopefully we'll get them going, and they'll do pretty good. I don't know if we have anything else that has come up yet. Just looking here, I don't see anything but weeds. Well, I don't see any little plants sticking their head up at all. It looks like the tomato plants is all we got going right now. Yep. I don't see anything else going. No, I don't. So we still got other stuff to plant. We've been kind of holding off because of the cold. Just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. But we'll get her going up here. Not much happening other than our little tomato plants, and that's just about it. So that definitely not too exciting, is it? Huh? Well, Apache walked out here, and we got some zucchini coming up right here. They're little, but they are coming up, and that's good. That's good. You got okra coming up as well?
No, I don't plant okra yet.
Hadn't got the okra planted yet?
No. I'm going to plant some over there.
Yeah, they do well over there. Those little plants look good.
Yeah, the tomato.
The zucchini is one that we feed a lot of that to the deer. They love it.
Yeah.
They love cucumbers. They love cantaloupes and watermelon, obviously. Tomatoes. Probably 80% of this garden ends up getting fed to the deer. We carry some home to the kids, and Patchy and I eat some, but the deer get most of it, don't they? But it's a really nice one. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's got some stuff coming up. Yeah, they come up a little bit. We'll put some NutriPlot on it, get more green up, and they'll grow really, really good. Yep. Alrighty. Our baby pecan trees, and again, you see no leaves, but you can see that these baby trees had quite a few pecans on them. You can see the hulls up there. Now these trees are beginning to get some leaves on them. You can see the big pecan trees you couldn't see, but you can see that these are beginning to get a little bit of green. Just a little bit. You see some of that green on there? The leaves are just now starting on them. So they're beginning to start. I had 100 trees that I planted here in this little particular spot. I think there's about 53 or 55 of them that are still alive and good. The rest of them we've lost, but they're looking good. And we've handpicked, Apache and I handpicked quite a few pecans out of these this year that we kept for ourselves. It's just personal pecans. And, the trees are obviously not large enough to shake. They got a lot of growing yet before they get to where you can put a shaker on them. I guess you could use a small shaker like an almond shaker or something, but we have several hundred pecan trees, so we're really not too concerned about these other than letting them grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're going to be a big old pecan tree someday. And those 50 some odd trees there, we will lose a few more of them as time goes by, but that's a big giant pecan tree right there. Again, you see no leaves whatsoever on that. What you see up there on it is hulls from the pecans. Coming up on another food plot that has a lot of deer on it. A lot of times there's no deer out there this evening, but look at that food plot, how good that food plot is doing. My goodness. And the deer are going to have plenty to eat. They do have plenty to eat, and that's why a few of them are coming to the house. And when the weather gets a little bit warmer, we look out here 2 weeks, I see 3 or 4 days in the 15-day forecast. The last 3 or 4 days of that are all above 80. Those will be some great days where I can get out and run around the ranch with Chris, and I'm so looking forward to that. Uh-oh, I see a deer way up there in front of me. I don't know if y'all can see that, but way over there's a deer. There we go. Zoom all the way in. And there's probably several right there. That's a big old deer. That's probably a buck. Big old beautiful deer. Yeah, it's probably a buck. Big pecan trees right there. He's over there on another little food plot. We've got about 100 acres of food plots planted. Well, I turn around and look out the other way to the food plot on the other side of the road, and it's got lots of deer. Lots of deer out there on it. Pretty good bunch of them out there. They're all looking me over real good. See the red fire in the sky. Red sky at night, fire, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. A good bunch of deer. They're just going to go over into the food plot across the road. It's just another food plot with the same stuff in it. That looks awful nice. You can see the sun is just about down. We just about used up this day, but this little drive out here this evening's been incredibly great for me. You know, I've been fighting this pain from this toothache. I did not buy any pain medicine. I've taken more deer, just deer everywhere in that. Look at that big bunch of deer out there. And but it's helped a lot. My pain is easing, probably just because of getting to run around out here on the ranch with Benelli. And look at all the animals. Fantastic time of the day. I hope you all enjoyed riding with me. It's been fun for me. I hope to make it fun for everybody else. We are so incredibly blessed by God to have this property and to be able to do something like this. To a lot of people, this is boring. They don't care about running around on a ranch and looking at animals, looking at green fields and looking at beautiful trees and buds and sunsets and stuff like that. But to somebody like me, it's incredible. It's incredible. Look at all those deer. Look at all those deer. They're out there on another big food plot. Pan around there, I don't see any more. It's getting close to dark. The picture's getting grainy. Almost Heaven. It's the song Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Almost Heaven. Twin Eagle Ranch, Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. right, guys and girls. That's a nice ride. It's just about dark. I went up to Sherry texted me and said I had a couple packages at the gate, so I went up there to pick those up. I think one of them might be my new Shell Rotella jerseys. Then what I'll do a box opening on those. Let's take a look at them. They're awfully nice, and we might do something and give away a couple of the old ones or something like that. I've only got a couple of the old ones left. We give some of them away and to kids charities every now and then, and let them auction them off for sometimes quite a little bit of money. And they're unique, one of a kind. They're tournament jerseys, really, and I don't fish tournaments anymore. But Shell has we continue to get them because I use them in personal appearances. I use them when I speak in churches, and I use them in all the appearances we do for Shell. Took them to more of my Shell Rotella jerseys. And they actually have all our great sponsors on there: Bass Pro Shop, Ranger Boats, Tracker Boats, Mercury Motors, Power Pole, Garmin, Lucky Strike, Turbo Power, Right Height, on and on and on. We got, I don't know, somebody asked me this week how many television show sponsors we got. We got about probably 12 or 15, I don't know. But not enough, I know that. And that next year is going to be a really tough year to pay all the bills and keep that television show going. Next year, I think, will be year number 48. And we certainly would like to keep it going at least 50 years. Got to keep going 50 years, don't we? And that's a long time for a television show to run. So hopefully, but anyway, we'll see what we got in these boxes. And it's just about dark. I thought I'd better shoot this. It's going to be dark by the time I get back down to the house. And my beautiful Chris, I told her I would be back at dark, and I think she doesn't mind staying there at the house by herself, but I don't want to leave her alone too long. The big deal is, if she was to have another stroke, it would be really, really bad. Might not matter whether I was there or not, but certainly it would be better if I was. And if another stroke could be really bad, or it could be a light stroke. You never know, but. She's just doing wonderful, just doing absolutely wonderful, and I love her so much. And golly, we've just had such a blessed life. God's been so good to us, and I had no idea when I walked that aisle as a 12-year-old boy and told that preacher that I wanted to give my life to Jesus, and I wanted him to be my Lord and Savior. And I had no idea. I just didn't want to go to hell. That's all. I was a 12-year-old boy, didn't want to go to hell, but I had no idea what God had planned for me during my life, and it's been an incredibly great life, and still got a long way to go. I've told you many times, God's told me I'm going to live to be 95. I'll be 80 this summer. When I get to about 90, which will be 10 years from this summer, when I get to be about 90, I'm going to ask God for another 15 years, just like King Hezekiah did. Yeah, that's right, just like King Hezekiah did. And you know what God did when King Hezekiah asked him he didn't ask him. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know if he asked for 15 years or he asked for additional time, and God just gave him 15 years. But I think God just told him, I'll add 15 years to your life. So that sounds good to me. I might just ask. I might ask God for an additional 15. He might say, Jimmy, I was going to give you 20. 20 years. You get to be 95, 20 years. Woo! 115. I believe I might want to go to heaven before I get to be 115. And then 100 years will be just the start. 100 years in heaven will be just the start. Look at that sunset back behind me. Isn't that great? Look at that sunset back there. That's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. You remember, I sure do love you. What a day at the Eagle. Woo!